Good morning guys, welcome back for another video. If you are new here, please consider clicking the subscribe button just down here and the little bell next to it. That way you get notified every time I upload a video. But today we're going to do a bearded dragon video. It's a beginner's guide to how to care for a bearded dragon. I'm going to go through everything, all the details you need to know if you are thinking about getting a bearded dragon. This has got everything in it. I hope you enjoy.
Tell me like a Hellcat.
Now then guys, let's start off with housing. Bearded dragon's house is called a vivarium. Vivarium, ooh, posh word. It's basically just, that's his tank. Wooden tank, a few ventilation bits and bobs, glass sliding doors. Yeah, we'll get him out. Ooh. That's Diego, he's my bearded dragon, he's 4 years old. Yep, glass sliding doors. We've got glass down the bottom. This is a custom made one. You can buy some really good vivariums, brand new on the market. A good company is Viv Exotics. Some of their vivariums are amazing. But this one, I made it custom made because it's got a lot of weight on the top of it, so we've got extra struts and whatever. A baby bearded dragon will live quite happily for a good nearly a year in a 3-foot vivarium, which is this size. That size is perfect for a junior, juvenile, babies, that sort of thing. You don't really want anything much bigger because then they struggle to find the food and it stresses them out. So that is the perfect size for a baby. Now, if you are having one and it's an adult, Diego here is a fully grown adult. He's 18 inches long. He's the minimum size vivarium for a fully grown bearded dragon is 4 foot. This is 4 foot long, 2 foot tall, 2 foot deep. That is perfect for him. He never spends much time in there. He always comes out and he's running around the house, but that's his home. That is the minimum requirement. You don't really want much bigger than sort of 6 foot because again they start struggling to find food and all that sort of stuff. You should never cohabitate bearded dragons. It's not advised. A bit of aggression could kick in and that sort of stuff. You can house 2 females together. It's not recommended, but you can do it. Never house 2 males together, they will fight. Never house a male and a female together because you'll end up with a lot more baby dragons. You don't want that. It's a lot of mouths to feed, that is. Right then, let's move on. Inside the vivarium, there's a lot of important components. First of all, it needs to have a hot side and a cold side. That's because bearded dragons are cold-blooded. They thermal regulate their own body heat. If they want to heat up, they'll go over there into the hot side underneath a basking bulb. If they want to cool down, it's a bit hot, they'll move into the middle or over here. Whichever temperature spot is perfect for him, that's where he'll hang around. It's quite intelligent of them. We, as humans, can adjust our own body temperature. Bearded dragons can't. They are thermal regulating. They come from Australia. They're amazing pets. They're great with children. Easy to tame down. As youngsters, they can be a bit skittish and a bit flighty, but you can see Diego just here, sat there. He's great. Anyway, hot side, we have a basking bulb. You can see the basking bulb just there. That is set on the bottom of the log at 115 degrees Fahrenheit, that is. It's 28 degrees centigrade in the middle. Sorry for the all the different measurements. Over the cold side, it's just a bit colder, so we can move around. He can be nice and warm. That's a constant temperature spot. So when he is digesting his food or something, he'll go over there. He'll sit under the basking bulb. The heat, that'll just help him digest his food. He sleeps up here. He's got a little ramp there that he sleeps on. on the cool side, which is good. It means his temperature has been okay throughout the day. He loves it over there. Now you'll see another light which runs the whole length at the top. That is very important. That is a 10.0, a 10% UVB strip light. A bearded dragon needs that. Again, they come from Australia, so they're used to all the sun and the heat and everything. That is what that is replicating. That is the sun, without the heat, obviously. There's no heat coming off that. 10.0 is the desert bull, basically. And they do need it. It is very important. The problem you have with a UVB bulb, UVB strip, is you never know if it's dying or not because it's always the same colour. So it's advised you change it every 6 months, 6 to 9 months, just so it keeps up with that 10.0 or 10% UVB outlet. Alright guys, so now let's go over to feeding and supplements. He's special. Now Diego here, he's an adult. As babies and juveniles, they eat more bugs than they do salad. That's what their diet is. Salad, fruit, veg, and protein, which is your bugs, your live stuff. For some people, oh no, I'm not going to get a bearded dragon because I don't like insects. You do get used to them. If you're not going to get used to them, they can be your best friend. Ooh, my nose. Anyway, back to it again. Yep. As babies, they eat more bugs than they do salad because they're growing. They need the protein to be able to grow. When they're adults and they're lazy like this one, he eats more salad than he does bugs. Now, salad I use costs £1, €1 if you're from there, or $1, whatever. It costs £1 from our local Tesco's. It's got everything in there he can eat. Now, there is some plants, some fruits that bearded dragons can't have. Iceberg lettuce, it's not advised that they have that simply because they burn more calories eating it than they get nutrition out of it. There's no nutrition in it for them. But, like I said, everything in there he can eat and he enjoys. Now, bug-wise, you've got a couple of options. I like to do a variety. Obviously, I've got a few different animals, so I've got different sized bugs, I've got all that sort of stuff. Crickets is the first one. Now, your crickets, you'll buy them from any pet store, and they'll come in a box like that. Here's a couple. I don't know how good you can see them. Oh, they're crickets. You can feed Mario worms. You Americans call them super worms. Basically, that's it. Just a big worm. Little bitey things there. I just grabbed that. I dropped it. And locusts. Again, the Americans, you call them hoppers. Diego loves every single one of them. He'll eat anything you put in front of him. Just trying with this Mario worm. The Mario worm. Oh, he doesn't want it today. Oh, there he does. Now, you will get used to the bugs and the insects. They are jumpy. Like the hoppers, your locusts, you will be able to grab them eventually. You will get used to them. You'll see a few around the house here and there as well. You will get used to them. Until you get used to them, they're advisable. You can buy a pack of 5 for £1 on eBay. You will need 5 as well because you're forever misplacing these. But locust, do you want a locust, Diego? Oh, there we go. He does love his locusts. Now I would give him the crickets, but they're a bit small for him because they're mainly for the leopard geckos. That's food. Everything you feed your bearded dragon needs to be supplemented. Now, the supplement you need is calcium. That is a big one. Out in the hot weather of Australia, where they're from, the calcium comes naturally through the general climate. It doesn't do it here. I'm in England. It doesn't do it here. So we have to supplement. calcium powder. It's just powder. That, and I do a bit of this one as well, Nutriball. That is just, it's just a powder, but it's got a load of nutrients and vitamins and stuff like that in it. And it can't do my harm to have a few extra vitamins. There's another calcium you can always go for. Now this stuff, you'll go to your shop and it'll be quite expensive. It's needed. Do not scrimp on your calcium powder. It does last quite a while. I've got this big tub here. I keep that one upstairs and the little one downstairs. Every time the little one runs out, I fill it up from the big one. That's just the way I do it. You buy it bigger, you might be able to get it a bit cheaper. This cost me $8.99. Bonus, everything you feed them. So all the insects, the salad, everything needs to be dusted. Just a light dust. I do a light dust anyway. Every sort of once a week I do quite a heavy dusting. That's normally when I'm feeding the Nutriball, the nutrients. I feed that once a week. The way I do me insects and bugs, I've got this little cricket keeper. Put calcium and me powder and all that sort of stuff in there. Put a few bugs in there, and I feed them off that. That's how I do mine. You'll also come across a phrase called gut loading. Gut loading is where you feed your insects salad and all the stuff that's good for your insects, so that your insects are very healthy for when you feed them to your bearded dragon. He becomes very healthy. It's good thinking behind it. If you want to know more about that, I've done a video for how to gut load your feeder insects. I'll put the link up here somewhere or over here. I don't know where it's going to be, but they'll be there. Just click on that. That'll take you straight through to the video, and you can go from that. Oh, right. Water. You'll notice in Diego's setup, I've shown you my setup in a fair few other videos. Just go back a few more videos. You'll see the setup. There is no water bowl in there. Again, they're from the hot plains of Australia. Australia. There's no water out there for them. They get their moisture through the vegetables and the bugs, which is why you want healthy bugs and fresh vegetables. Fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and all that sort of stuff. That's how they get their moisture. I give him a bath once a week, a nice warm bath, like a toddler's bath. Now he likes to spend a good 20 minutes in there. It helps him shed. He relaxes in it. He likes it. Now, about 10 minutes into the bath, his body starts to absorb the majority of the heat out of the water. So I do like to put a bit more hot water in there. I do it gently over time so that it doesn't just burn him and it's not a massive change and all that sort of stuff. But he does love it. He does love that. Let's get on to a couple of debated subjects, shall we? Debated subject number one. You'll notice my bulbs, I've got a middle bulb there. That's a heat night emitter. It just emits heat, no light or anything. That's for the depths of winter, because in England, in this house, it does get cold. So that's set up and that'll come on. The bulbs, all your bulbs need to be on a thermostat. Now a thermostat, there's a couple of probes, I don't know if you can see them. They'll shut the bulbs down or dim the bulbs down as and when the temperature gets hot. When it gets to the point where you set it, it'll dim the bulb right the way down. As you can tell, his bulb's not that bright. Oh, he's going for a walk. His bulb's not that bright because his vivarium is up to temperature. That light will stay on that dim unless it gets a little bit cooler, and then it'll come on a bit more as the day works on. Thermostats, they are very important. Very, very important. Also, safety backup plans. I'll put a link up in the description. I've done a video on safety backup plans. It's quite interesting. It's quite in-depth, so bear with me on that one. All the lights, they have 12 hours on, 12 hours off, so they can have a day and night routine. Diego, it's very cute. Bearded dragons, they sleep. You can literally see them sleeping. Diego, he snores a lot as well. It's not loud, but it's quite funny. So we have them set on a timer on the plugs. 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Around about 7:30, his heat bulb will go off. About 15 minutes later, his UVB bulb will go off. That's to sort of simulate a sunset. I don't know why I do that. I read something, it was interesting, I thought I'll give it a go. And it works. When the heat bulb goes off, he gets up on his little platform, he goes to sleep, and then his UVB bulb switches off. It's cute to watch, it really is. Right then, guys, let's get on to a few debated subjects to do with bearded dragons. If you join the Facebook forums and all that sort of stuff, yeah, they'll tell you what they think is best and what I think is best and all this. Everyone's got their own opinion. The heat bulbs, you can see them, they have not got a cage on. That is so, when his tail touches the bulbs, it doesn't get trapped in a cage, it just knocks the bulb and it flicks. If you did want a cage, if you felt you will feel safer with a cage, that's basically what they look like. Diego used to have it, he doesn't have it on no more. That just screws up and the bulb goes inside, so the animals can't physically get to the bulb. It's up to you whether you use it or not. I don't use it. I've just told you why it's gone. And the next one is substrate. Now substrate, if you've never had a reptile before, is basically the bedding. It's just the bedding. A lot of people say no substrate, just on tiles or bare bottom or something like that. And that's because if your husbandry isn't right, your temperatures are not right, bearded dragons can get impaction. It's where all the loose items they've been eating, sand or anything like that, compacts in their intestines, in their stomachs, and it kills them. It is that serious. It does kill them. I never use sand, I never use anything fine. However, I do use a loose substrate, which is just wooden pellet. I use that for a couple of reasons, mainly to do with his toes and his preferences. He likes that. That's his setup. I think that's about it. I do not use sand. If you ever someone tries to sell you calci sand, no. I think that's everything we've covered now. The do's and don'ts. If you do have any questions, just let me know. Ask me a question, any question, no matter how silly it sounds, and I'll reply to you as soon as I get the message. From me, from Diego, like, subscribe, you know the score, hit the notification bell, and I shall see you next time.